So what's up guys, it's ABJK and this is the 24th episode of the Newcastle United career mode in FIFA 16, and as you can see there, last episode we narrowly won against West Bromwich Albion, so that moves us into the semi-final of the Capital One Cup. And in this episode we are straight away kicking into a game against Chelsea at St James Park in the Barclays Premier League fixture. And speaking of Chelsea, they are the league leaders with a massive 8-point gap over us. And as you can see there, we slightly slipped off from the top 4 because of recent draws against Manchester City's, Arsenal's and Liverpool. So we kind of want a big performance against a big team, and this is the Chelsea's lineup. They kind of went with their second team, Lucas Pearson, they got Loftus-Cheek, they got Nathan, and they got Callas playing up, and could be a very interesting game. And early on, a slight defensive mix-up at the back for us proves very costly, as Diego Costa slips in a vital goal for them to get a lead in the very early stages of the game. And as you can see there, a slight mix-up between the defenders, and once again my defense is letting down so massively in the recent games. And fortunately for us, soon after that goal we get a penalty, and Johan Kabay scores that with great composure and to get us back into the game. That was really much needed. So Chelsea weren't taking the draw, and they went up on the other end of the pitch and scored an absolutely beautiful volley from Diego Costa, and that was a great cross from Lucas Pearson, and Costa's volley was awesome, and Tim Krul had no stopping that volley, and it just went into the back of the net. So Chelsea were leading once again, and they looked like the much better team there. And once again they scored another goal when Willian hopped in from a long range. That was a great goal from Willian. So unfortunately we couldn't get back into the game. A very disappointing performance as a team. Throughout the game I was chasing the game, and Chelsea's standards were much higher. So very disappointing performance, and Chancellor member has been letting me down massively in defense. So moving into a training session before we get into another game, and Metro is growing so close to 80, and might be to get to 80 within the next game, who knows. And moving into another game of Barclays Premier League, this time we go against West Ham United at Bowling Ground, known as Upton Park as well. And regarding West Ham's lineup, they got a very standard looking lineup. Apart from, I was really surprised at the moment to see Dimitri Payet playing up, but he was at substitute bench, and Zapate was not played as well. So it was a weird looking West Ham lineup, but this is our lineup. And once again we got a standard looking lineup, apart from Steven Taylor playing for Chancellor member, who was disappointed massively over the last couple of games, and I was hoping for a better luck with Steven Taylor. And early on, Josip Perez provided us a moral boosting goal there, getting a lead in the 30th minute from the flanks. And before the end of the first half, we should have got a couple of goals here. Sissoko doing so well there, but his shot was saved on the fingertips by their goalkeeper, and trying to work out the same corner technique, playing it short and moving into the box with a spin. But this time the defense did well, and that was the end of the first half. So I was really bossing up the game in the first half against West Ham United, but that changed in the second half when Antonio scored an absolutely beautiful goal once again from the cross from the wings. It did hurt us against Diego Costa in the last game, and it was like a similar kind of play, but this time an amazing header from Michail Antonio. And once again my defense was shocking. Haidar and Steven Taylor was found nowhere near Antonio. So that's once again defensive problems for us. And luckily for us in the second half, and it was late in the half as well, when Winston Reid takes down Josip Perez, and we do get a penalty once again in this game. So a couple of penalties and in a row, and you know who's gonna take it. It's going to be Johan Kabay. Can he keep his 100% recorded penalties? Of course he can, and he scores to get us a vital goal, and that could see us getting 3 points. Of course we do win the game, and 8.5 waiting for Johan Kabay, and he's the trustworthy person in the squad. And moving into player training, before we get into the next game. And this is my new training drill. We got 3 drills for Aaron's and 2 drill for Ashton there. And moving into this game against Hull City, once again it's the Barclays Premier League team, Premier League game, and we got no cup games in this episode. So we are playing at home, and Hull City are doing well in 8th place. So that's the reason I decided to play this game instead of simulating it. And before getting into this game, I decided to play my second team with Tim Krul up at goal, and it proved to be a massive mistake for us. And this is the Hull City's lineup. They got a very standard looking team. Their defense and their midfield is so solid, and the attackers are very decent as well. And this game was one of the frustrating games you just experienced in FIFA. It did end as a 0-0, and it was one of the boring game, and my first team would have done a very good job on this game, but they lacked slight fitness, so I decided to play my second team, and that was a big mistake. And moving into the final game of this episode against Norwich City, and it is an away fixture, this one, and Norwich City were doing a very good job at the table, so I decided to play this game as well. And they got Cameron Jerome, Nathan Redmond with lots of pace, and Hulaland is a very good playmaker, so it could be a very interesting game against Norwich City here. So regarding our team's lineup, our first team is completely back, apart from couple of changes noteworthy is Ayosi Perez playing up at right mid and Sammy Amiomi playing up at left mid, because Capella and Thorven needed a rest there. And early on we could have scored a lovely goal with Loic Remy, but his header was just wide, and Remy on his normal day would have scored it, but he's not enjoying a good run of form. He hasn't scored in 5 or 6 goals. Once again a finished shot, and the keeper made an easy save, and they get into the other end of the pitch and scored an absolutely scrappy goal from Cameron Jerome there. Once again, I did perform a couple of tackles, but my defense is all over the place at the moment. I need to fix it before we get into the next episode, and this episode is proved to be one of the costliest episode and one of the frustrating episodes to record and play as well. Once again, a lovely defensive performance from Norwich City, and Sammy Amiri did lovely work there. And we are trying to get back into this game, and Ayosi Perez once again comes up with the spark. When he provided Loic Remy, he should have scored, but the ball fell kindly to Ayosi Perez to knock it in the back of the net, so that makes us level. And I was just at this moment breathing heavily. So moving into the game, when Remy Cabell had a wonderful chance, but it did hit the post, and once again the FIFA edge did go against our way. I did put in 2 perfectly slide tackles, but that wasn't from stopping Nathan Redmond in scoring an absolutely brilliant goal. It was like the goal that Willian scored as well. Beautiful goal from outside the box, and that was the end of the game. 2-1 defeat to Norwich City. So that is the end of this episode, guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode soon.